Paul Theron from Vestac joins me. Thank you so much, Paul.
Yes.
That was quite fun. We actually did a little bit of a dance. Okay, Jean-Claude
Pity
Trichet.
about the table, otherwise it would have been better.
Jean-Claude Trichet, what did you make of his comments?
Well, normally these things by the ECB are totally boring because he's a wonderful guy, Jean-Claude Trichet. He talks in this very clipped English. He's German, but he speaks all these different languages. But the ECB, I think, has not done anything to interest rates for at least, I don't know how many meetings. He's interestingly approaching the end of his tenure. He's going to be replaced by an Italian. But today, finally, something exciting happened. What happened was a German journalist said to him, "What do you have to say to those people in Germany who want to go back to the Deutschmark?" And what then proceeded to happen was like one of those Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men scenes, when he said, "You want answers, you can't handle the truth." And he then proceeded to totally disassemble this guy and said, you know, the ECB has done a great job at ensuring price stability. It's done better than Germany did itself before it joined the euro, blah, blah, blah. Any event, I mean, nothing really came out of it. They just said they were going to continue to watch with interest.
But it's interesting because it also, the Deutsche Mark will strengthen significantly against the current value of the euro now, and then perhaps they'd be intervening like the Swiss National Bank is intervening to try and weaken their currency.
Precisely. So you're saying that if Germany were out of the eurozone, the Deutsche Mark would be much stronger, which wouldn't be good for their economy. So in some ways, the Germans have gained enormously beyond just, you know, political isolation and all the other strategic reasons. So yet another reason why this thing isn't going to get to fall apart. But, you know, I keep saying that one day I'll be proven right.
Is a $300 billion fund enough to sort the US unemployment scenario out?
Yes, so now Barack Obama makes a speech tonight. We'll have to wait and see what they come up with. I mean, we know that they already had a massive stimulus last year, which was supposed to result in many jobs. Perhaps it did a few. Some people who've looked at exactly what happened with the stimulus have indicated that, you know, in many cases, people did things that didn't really make much sense. In other words, projects were pushed. People bought, you know, capital equipment, or they, you know, deferred certain things, but didn't really result in a lot of jobs. But understand that for many people, the concept of employment is changing. To use a big Keynesian stimulus policy and to expect that it's going to result in hundreds and hundreds of new manufacturing jobs just is kind of nonsensical. And in any event, if you think about it, in an economy like the US, where people are, the nature of work is changing. People are involved with things like, you know, social networking and with, you know, coupons and with electronic media. To kind of imagine that you're going to get a whole lot more jobs in an economy transition like that just seems a bit silly anyway, my view.
Your view, okay. And then Ben Bernanke a little later today. And I thought Keynes was out of vogue, by the way, but that's a debate for a different story. Ben Bernanke a little later today. Do you think he's going to be opening the door further to a possible stimulus announcement at the Fed meeting later this month?
I mean, I take a rather jaundiced view of monetary policy. I don't really look to monetary policy to solve anything. To me, it's just like a slight dampener on economic activity. Yeah. I've long since stopped watching to see whether Bernanke would come up with anything. For me, it's all about the recovery in the underlying economy. We'd all love that to happen by yesterday, but it's only going to happen tomorrow.